Witam Państwa serdecznie.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I can see that you really like our company, seeing so many of you. I'm very happy to see that. We will be summarizing 2017, the picture that you can see on the slide. It's not an accident. This is our new collection, Spring-Summer, and this photo was published in the first edition of Vogue Poland. So we are definitely up to date. So these are 1980s, but let's go back, let's move back to the 2017. At the end of the year, over 1,700 stores in 20 countries, 3 new markets. Our floor space grew by 9%. These are the round numbers, 1 million of square meters. And, well, I can picture that to you because I myself didn't know that. But this is several Złote Tarlasy shopping mall put next to each other, 1 million square meters. So the traditional stores recorded really good year. LFLs grew by 10% and e-commerce grew by 108%. So a record-setting revenues in 2017. Let's take a look at the map. 3 new countries, Belarus, Serbia, and the UK. And in addition, we've used to put down to notify the online stores. We included Russia because in the 4th quarter we've launched our online stores. On the left, you can see the growth of stores. So the biggest growth was in Sinsay brand. So how about the LFLs? A very strong 4th quarter, nearly 13% growth in LFLs in the 4th quarter. And we are happy to see that all countries, all brands recorded positive LFLs. So online sales, over 150 million zloty. And I need to remind you that in 2 years ago, in 2016, it was 170-something million. So the 4th quarter last year was almost equal to the whole year, 2016. And we're really happy that our online sales is working so well. So now let's take a look at the brand's sale. So our biggest brand growth by 16% year on year. And on the right, on the slide, you can see the floor space. So 10.5% growth of floor space in Reserved. Really good result of the group and good Sinsay, also good crop. As you can see on the slide, these are the numbers. And now growth in key regions. Poland is still the biggest market, over 50% of our sales. The EU and Serbia sales was working really good, as well as Eastern countries. Although Russia and Ukraine, well, it could be even better because, well, the exchange rate went down by around 15%, but the situation was really good. The results are really good in the 4th quarter still. And now the overall sales growth by 16%. On this graph, you can see that this dark blue line, so e-commerce online sale is growing more and more. On the right, sales per square meter, growth in retail by 11%. And all regions had a really nice, represented a really nice double-digit growth rates. Now, gross profit margin, it was really good. It was really good in the 4th quarter. And that was due to better collections in Reserved, as well as FX trends, well, the USD rate. Although you will see that this impact will be significant when we talk about the spring-summer collection, because we've been buying fabrics at 3.43 per US dollar, and this is how we will be calculating this situation. And the low USD rate will be reflected in 2018 best. Now let's move to the cost. Now, on the left, we can see costs of own stores. So first, rental costs, then HR costs, and other costs. Energy, materials, and so on. Let's start from the upper part, because for the 3 quarters we had stable costs, and then they grew up to 61 zloty. That was because of the culmination of openings at the end of 2017, all because we increased our floor space by 80,000 square meters, but in the 4th quarter only it was 60,000 square meters. Therefore, more costs connected with materials, hangars, and so on that were spent on the openings. Then, in the middle line, the HR costs. They are close to the previous quarter, 61 zloty, and the biggest portion of this graph, these account for the rental costs, and they drop in the 4th quarter as usual. Why? Because there is a higher impact of rentals, and every month we pay a stable amount, and at the end of the year we calculate the turnover in given store, and then we multiply it by percentage rate, and then this is the result. And if in monthly rentals we overpay, and then the shopping mall needs to give us the overpaid amounts, and we can see it here in the 4th quarter. And because our turnover was really good, we had 94 zloty per square meter, and the total cost as SG&A per square meter, they grew by 16% year on year, up to 300 zloty. That includes one-off element. So we had a cost connected with holiday season commercials. So we had production. We've been actually broadcasting the commercials in the media and outdoor, and we also had launched in e-commerce. So the one-off costs added to the total cost by 30-something million zloty. If we excluded that, we wouldn't have this 16% growth, but 12% growth and 280 zloty per square meter. But the result is as it is. But one comment here, we have a bigger and bigger problem with presenting the data for you, because we have total cost, including e-commerce, but we don't have any square meters for the e-commerce. Therefore, this amount is growing, and this factor, this indicator, is not really working that well. So we will have to work on a new way of presenting our cost in the future. So we've mentioned the sales, the cost, now the income growth by 16%, growth of cost 23%, but the margin was better by 7 percentage points. Therefore, 370 million zloty operational result. So the situation is much better than last year. Many of you may say, well, stop it, because we had some problems. We have some situation with old inventories. Well, we had this exercise, so you can see the corrected a bit. What would happen if last year we didn't have this huge transaction of selling the old inventories that amounted to 220 million zloty? So the result would be 20% better this year than last year. But on the other hand, if I didn't sell this old inventory last year, then today I would even have bigger problem and higher write-offs. So, this 300 million zloty this year include no one-off transactions connected with the old inventory. So we're happy with the results. The fourth quarter was really good. Overall, 2017 was really good. The margin was better by 4 percentage points. The overall net income was really nice. Now, inventories, you are always interested in it. Well, the inventories were slightly lower than in the second and third quarter, 1,323,000,000 per square meter. This is below 1,500 zloty. And here, another comment. Those inventories also include our inventories for e-commerce. Around 8–9% should be taken out of it because we have inventories for e-commerce, but we don't have the floor space square meters. But inventories work really fine. Let's take a look at the graph. And we are saying that we want by 2018 to match the liabilities to the inventory level, which means that we won't need the net cash for the turnover working capital. So you can see the overall yearly improvement. Now the difference is around 100 million zloty. So 150 million zloty have been defrozen from the working capital. And this cash is used to pay our debt. And you can see on this slide that we paid our debt, but we also have net cash amounting to over 300 million zloty at the end of the fourth quarter. And now investment outlays, CapEx, nearly 120 million zloty in 4Q17, 85 million zloty a year ago. So this was increased. We can see a growth here, but this is connected with the new openings in the fourth quarter. So now, summarizing the whole year, so our stores are in 20 countries. After adding 3 new markets, so we have e-stores in 11 of those countries, and a better reserved collection helps us to improve our distribution, our sales, and with the help of that, our gross profit margin is improving. Now let's move on to key corporate events. What has happened in the last quarter of 2017? 2 new e-commerce logistics centers, one in Poland and one in Russia. We've accelerated openings in Russia, Belarus, and Ukraine. And this concerns our stores. We've opened a beautiful new concept store in Złote Tarasy in Warsaw shopping mall. This is the best-selling Polish store right now, but not the best-selling global store. And we've joined the among family companies. Now, as you know, we have 2 logistics centers, one in Pruszcz Gdański, this is our own, and the second one is in Stryków, which is rented. Well, the Pruszcz Gdański is used for our traditional stores, and in Stryków, we use these logistics centers for e-commerce, for the parcels. In Russia, we've been so far renting logistics centers for the Russian stores, and together with the same operator, we've launched a logistics center for Russian e-commerce. That happened in the fourth quarter 2017. But now, looking into the future, taking into account the e-commerce, how it works, we need new hubs, new warehouses, and we plan to open them at the end of this year. Surely next year, one in the UK and one in the south, in order to speed up the parcels, the mailing. Now, our development in the east, we've opened new stores out of 60,000 square meters that was opened in the fourth quarter. Half of it represented the eastern countries, Russia, Ukraine, and Belarus. And we also opened e-commerce in Russia. We've launched 3 brands, but Crop also joined the e-commerce in Russia in the second in 2018, in February 2018, and reserved, open to public in Warsaw. Some of you have been to the opening, which was launched, which was opened before the holidays. This is the best scoring store in Poland. As you can see, this is a great store, a great sales level. In addition to corporate to business, we are very active in CSR. We cooperate with British SGS or Accord organization, and they audit our factories in the Far East. We try to promote our company among students, and students promote LPP as interesting employer. We also have a first fitting program for those who would like to join the market, to come to the market. Well, we accept them and we train them. We have also the sport teams in LPP. You can see the photographs here. Two of our colleagues from LPP who take part in Ramageddon in spring last year. This is the picture of the spring last year. We try to promote this kind of things because this is healthy, and we support various charitable campaigns as well. And another thing that needs to be added, as you know, our company has been created by two colleagues, Piechocki-Lubiański, over 25 years ago. This is how they created the company out of nothing. And recently, after this over 25 years, they started to think, what now with the company? What are our plans? What we would like to do with the company? So they sat down and said that they would like to continue this DNA, organizational culture of the company, and they would like the company to be actually given to the children. Mark Piechocki said that he would like his children to take over the brand, the company, to continue this family, this internal culture of the organization. Well, so the first step to the succession has been made, but this is a very long process that can take dozens of years, and Marek is still active. He will be the CEO for many more years, so nothing will change here. But, well, we just wanted to signal that there were some ideas for succession, as that we've, well, on Polish market, family-owned companies are something new. Because, well, this is because of the economical transformation that took place over 25 years ago. So people are thinking what to do with their companies, and well, this happens in our company as well. But this is a long-term planning. Let's move on to a short-term plans. 1 million square meters. This is our floor space by the end of 2017. We would like to add another 10%, 100,000 square meters. This year, we would like to add it. And, well, the distribution will be similar as last year. So the biggest growth will be in Sinsay. You will see that 107,000 square meters planned at the end of 2018. So they will be almost equal to Mojito brand, another brand that is well developed strongly. So in Poland, we still find some ideas, some room for development. But we increase our floor space, but close smaller stores. So now, Europe also growth 23%, and growth in Russia, Ukraine as well. 3 new markets will be launched next year: Slovenia, Kazakhstan, and Israel. Israel will be a franchise model. And we planned to spend 520 million zloty on investment. Well, we'll be investing in new stores, 170 million zloty. This will be outlays, infrastructural outlays for logistics centers and offices. Well, these are traditional stores. These are our plans. How about e-commerce right now? In 2017, we had a very ambitious plan to double the sale in e-commerce. And, well, we've achieved that. And this year, we have another ambitious goal, another 100% growth year on year. So this year, we would like to have 720 million worth of online sale. All right, so we are working on our stores on the e-commerce area, but this rapid growth requires infrastructural investments. We need to invest in logistics and offices. So we sat down and we were discussing. So what do we need? What should we invest and how much in order to support our traditional stores and online stores? And we've found out that we need over 700 million zloty to be spent within the new 3 coming years. Let's start with Gdańsk. Now we will have 4 new buildings. They will be constructed on the land lot that we bought several years ago. And in Kraków, we will have new building for House and Mojito. So you could ask me, why do you need the offices? New buildings, can't you use those that you already have? In 2016, we've employed 300 people and another 300 people in 2017. And in 2018, we are planning to employ around 200 people. So we are talking about 900 people that were employed within the past 3 years. And, well, we have 5 different locations in Gdańsk, and we would all like to be in one place. So we would like to use Łąkowa land lot in Gdańsk to construct 4 new buildings. In addition to the offices, we need logistics. Several years ago, 3 years ago, so you've been in Pruszcz when we were launching our new logistics center. And we were saying that this logistics center will be enough until 2020. And 2020 is coming very quickly. So we have 2 ideas. We can add another building in Pruszcz Gdański that will help us to store the clothes. And this investment will be started this year and finalized next year. So this is one thing, but the more important thing is a construction of logistics center somewhere in central Poland. The best it would be located along A1 motorway. So we are now discussing purchase of a land, and we would like to launch this center in 2020. So these are our investment plans in the coming 3 years. And the business outlook, well, we would like to continue the double-digit revenue growth rates. And with the help of good reserved collection, we believe in improvement in LFLs and online sale. Well, also, the group's gross profit margin is much better thanks to the USD exchange rate. And, well, we would like this to be between 54-55% this year. Well, what are the risks? The ban on trade on Sundays, we'll see how that works. And still this FX trends subject. And because our presentation is summarizing the whole year, so we would like to present you a couple of slides about markets. So CEE, Poland, Czechia, Slovakia, and Hungary. So definitely the floor space will be growing in Poland. Better stores with better floor space. The same situation in Slovakia and Czechia. We'd like to have more stores, but it's difficult because new shopping malls are not being constructed. So we need to knock on the door of the existing shopping malls, which is quite strenuous, but we are doing that. Another market, CEE. So Slovenia, Croatia, Serbia, Romania, Bulgaria. This year, Serbia will be launched, so we are hoping for a very good development in this region. Well, ex-Yugoslavian countries are doing really very well in terms of sales. Well, that's good. And Baltic states, we have quite a saturation on those markets, so we will be increasing the existing stores. So we will be modernizing them and increasing the floor space in the existing stores. Now East, 3 countries that are already there, and Kazakhstan. We will be concentrating on this area. So one of the so-called threat that we are facing right now, that right now the number of the shopping malls that are under construction is dropping. So the construction investment seems to be slowing down in this region, but still there is space for new constructions and shopping malls. So we are quite optimistic here. So Western Europe, we will have a new store in Frankfurt am Main in Germany. So 20 stores will be there, and we are working on increasing traffic and sales in the stores. And the United Kingdom, well, one store on Oxford Street, our flagship store. We are not planning to open new stores. We just want to stick to the flagship store, and we would like to work on our online sales. Let's stop here for a moment, because I keep hearing the questions about this store, whether this is profitable or not, do we earn money or not. But with the help of this store, we've opened 2 new gates, opportunities that are very valuable for LPP. For many years, we were trying to win designers from Western Europe, and they've been always doubtful. Well, we don't know the company. Well, what's the country? Well, that's Poland, far away, and so on. But now, seeing this store in London on Oxford Street, seeing how nice the store is, well, more and more often we hear from designers that they would like to cooperate with us. We also cooperate with the London School of Fashion, and we sponsored some scholarships. So we really hope for a better cooperation with Western designers. And now another thing, efficiency. When after opening this store, we've seen lines there, we've realized that this cashier system that we have in Poland, Czechia, or Russia, well, this works here, but with a large traffic, we may have old-fashioned systems. So we focused on that. We've completely changed the cashier desks in London. We've launched a new cashier system that is more efficient and quicker. So we have a better, improved system for inventories in the store. So we've introduced all the solutions to make the store more efficient, and now we would like to spread it and implement it in all other stores in order to improve their operations. So the Middle East, well, we want to have more stores there. When we've signed the contract with our franchise partner, well, that was quite promising, but now we have 6 stores only. But we need to remember about the difficult situation in the region. There are not too many tourists there as compared to the situation several years ago, but we still would like to develop there. We would like to work on this market, so we are launching our operation in Israel with new franchise model and reserved. This will be only reserved store. So, in fact, this is how we would like to work it. So by the end of 2018, we would like to have 23 countries. The blue countries are those 2018 new countries. And one more slide. This is the last slide. Quite difficult because we have 2 changes in information changes. And the first one was introduced by LPP in 2018. And another one is connected with IFRS. Let's start with 2018. You can see that we've stopped reporting monthly trading updates. Many questions. Why did we stop that? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to be part of the best companies, European companies. So just the same as we want to have the best collections, well, we would like to have the same sort of reporting standards. So we've our competitors do not share such data on monthly basis, so we would like to join this league as well. But instead, we would like to report quarterly data with preliminary financial results. So before, it was really difficult to say when the results will be published, so you were unsure of that as well, because we had to wait for all the companies to report the data and consolidate all the data, and it was very hard to forecast the exact date. And so we've decided that it would be really good to have some schedule framework. And as of this year, so beginning of April, so the first working day after closure of given quarter, we would like to publish the margin, sales, and preliminary cost data so that you can know what is our operational result for the previous quarter, covering the previous quarter. And this will be published quite quickly. So that was an easy thing. Now let's move on to the most difficult situation. So 2018 and IFRS. And the more we work on it, the more we realize that it will not be an easy thing to do. In general, well, the rental recognition will change, and it will be changed into lease obligation. That means that our balance sheet will change. Also, the P&L will change. You will also see that in our slides. You can read that our forecasts connected with the changes. Well, but please do not stick to the numbers because they may change. We just wanted to illustrate the whole situation. As at the end of 2017, our balance sheet was 4 billion zloty something. After the change of the IFRS 16, well, that grew to 9 billion zloty. Huge obligations, huge lease obligations will appear. On the other hand, we will have assets, so the right to use the floor space rented. And the P&L, well, this will not feature over billion zloty, and this will be the provision generally. So EBITDA will increase. It will be doubled. EBIT will be increased, but on the other hand, the debt will grow as well. So for me, it will be a problem to discuss covenants with banks about calculating debt factors, because this will change. For many companies, it will change the balance sheet as well as the discussions with the banks. So the EBITDA that will be doubled, and the change of the rentals. But another change. Well, we've been fighting for the past 2 years to remove the FX changes, and they will come back again because, well, we have euro here, so they will have to be calculated. The rentals will have to be calculated in euro. So again, we will have the FX changes. So quite a lot of effort, good work that we've done, but this IFRS 16 changes everything again. So in a quarter, when we meet again, we would like to show you some other calculations, show you how this change will change our result reports. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. The last piece of information. This is Cindy Crawford. She will be the face of 2018 spring and summer collection. So back to the 90s and 80s, so we've asked the fashion icons, the stars of those years, to participate in it. Tomorrow, the whole campaign will be launched officially. So let's take a look tomorrow at it. And now let's move on to the Q&A session. However, because we are broadcasting online, please speak to the microphone.
Michał Kuzowiński.
Michał Kuzowiński, JP Morgan. I have a couple of questions. Let's start with your opinion about competition on the closed market. We can see that the biggest competitors have some problems, and in H&M, the problem is the USD because they didn't participate in this drop of the price. So what do you expect that will happen in the second half of the year? So they also have problem with the sales drop from 17 to 14%. So aren't you afraid of the more competition there in H&M? So it happens that the market is competing hard. Well, our collections are much better and better, and this is how we compete. We've heard about the situation in H&M, but the strategy seems to be really good. But they decided not to reintroducing the old clothes into the stores. So they are distributing it outside of the traditional stores, but they can't sell everything at once. So I believe that it will be spread over the year. So we don't see how they could affect our results. Our results are really good. We compete with the price and the good collection. So we are very happy with what we offer right now. But aren't you afraid that it was helpful for you that they were hedged, but you were not? Well, it's really hard to say because I haven't been looking at the results. Well, hedging is one thing. We in 2015, 2016, we've realized that not only hedging and US dollar is important when it comes to winning the market. The collection is important. We try to reach out to the women, and I'd like to highlight that again. We are very happy with what we offer, and other companies have problems, and well, they have to deal with it. Now, about your forecast of cost and what can we expect this year in terms of the inflation, in terms of the square meter. Now, taking a look at the total cost per square meter, we believe that the growth will be strong this year, around 8-9% per square meter. This is the growth of the cost this year. Whereas the e-commerce cost will be growing. And now, other cost, this position, this element, we could see that this grew significantly across the whole 2017, especially in 2017, the fourth quarter of 2017. Did you have any one-offs connected with store openings or openings of expensive stores, especially the London flagship store or expensive store openings in Germany? So can we hope here on a very high basis and lower inflation this year? Well, definitely this quarter, the past quarter, that was 61 zloty, the cost should be lower because, as I've mentioned that during the presentation, we had several one-offs accumulated in this fourth quarter because we had to spend a lot of money on the materials to actually prepare the openings. We had the amortization of energy, store guards, and other external services. I believe that we should return to around 53 zloty as it was in the previous quarters. But we are planning not to have this accumulation of store openings like in 2017, that everything happened in the fourth quarter. We would like to distribute it evenly across the whole 2018. And now about rental guidance per square meters, what can we expect here? We count that it will be flat, more or less. Thanks a lot. Yes, please go ahead. Are there any further questions? I encourage you. Well, it seems that I've said everything during the presentation. No, we have one more question. Michał Patra, UBS, I know that it's early, but could you evaluate the first weekend without the trading Sunday with the stores closed? We have one sample, only one sample, and it's very difficult to evaluate the situation. So firstly, now we've noticed that the customers bought more on Friday and Saturday and Monday and Tuesday. So the customers seem to be adjusting to the changed schedule. But on the other hand, we had a better weather. Well, the sun was shining, so it's really difficult to judge based on one day. So now let's talk about the costs. So do you have less hours, working hours? Is there any chance to have additional pressure on the shopping malls? Well, we are not pressuring the shopping malls. We are trying to observe the situation, what is happening on the days off on Sundays, so people are not working on Sundays, so the salary cost is lower. So we try to adjust the schedules in the stores, and the shopping malls are talking to us about extending working hours on Friday and Saturday late night, but we are not in favor of this solution. We don't believe that this will help us to stay open until late night. So we keep on observing the situation, the market. We keep on observing how the operation will work. And then on the other hand, we need to remember that people are running to the e-commerce, and we had some promotional campaigns in order to encourage people to buy online. So we would like to redirect the whole traffic to the online stores. And I need to remind you that 3 years ago, when the situation was similar in Hungary, well, the whole trade has spread from Sunday to Tuesday and Wednesday. One more question concerning the cash. Are you more ambitious about dividend? Because, well, you are playing it quite safe for the past 2 years. Are you planning to increase the dividend? Well, yes, definitely. We are planning to pay the dividend. Well, we will increase it slightly, but our plans are not too ambitious about that. Well, this cash is used for 2 goals. So the first goal, big infrastructural investments, and the second goal is connected with the bank product that is used to expand the deadlines, extend the deadlines. So the finance factoring, so the reverse factoring. There is this story that in order for this bank product to work really good and for our contractors to use the discount, well, we have to have a very good financial standing. So therefore, we need to have a good flow, safe balance, and we need to work on that. So this is a sort of a turning wheel. The stronger our balance is, the longer our payment deadlines and strong situation, but yes, we are not thinking about increasing the dividend significantly. Now, the question goes for e-commerce. Could you tell us in more detail the split between click and collect and the deliveries, and what's the proportion of returns, e-commerce returns? And we'd really like to know about the evolution there. And because we have a large traditional chain, we use this pick and collect function, definitely. well, I don't remember exact data, but this is about 30 up to 40% of pickups in the traditional stores. Now, talking about returns, this is 20-something percent of returns in e-commerce right now. So that's not really much. Well, reading the reports of our biggest competitors from the Western Europe, this is not much, definitely, because, well, the returns are around 50, 60%, and this 20-something percent, this is a very good factor, but that's connected with this part, with operating in this part of Europe, where people are more cautious and they don't like to spend money too eagerly, so they don't use this return function that much. Thanks a lot. Are there any further questions? Monika Zdrojewska. I'd like to talk more about Sundays, because we have, it's March. Can you hear me? Well, yes, I can hear you, but that's a difficult month, so March. The weather is not that good, and the sales is not that good, and we have April and 4 Sundays with closed stores. So the question goes as follows. So with the situation like that, with a good collection, but there are still some factors that you have no impact on. So what about the situation? Well, I don't know. But this is sort of a lottery. Let me tell you that in terms of the sales, we don't know. Our sales abroad is growing. We are growing outside of Poland, so the e-commerce is growing. That's great. And the result in the first half of the year, I believe that it will be improved with the help of better margins. And, well, we still need to remember about the USD price, and we will adjust to the situation on the market, definitely. So thanks a lot. There is one more question. Kozowski, Raiffeisenbank. I'd like to ask you for more update about Germany. What can we expect this year? In Germany, we have 19 stores, Reserved brand. We will open the 20th store this year. All brands are sold online on this market, and this market is really great because it is the biggest sales market in Europe, but our brand is relatively unknown, and we can see that the German market still needs more time to familiarize with our company, with our brand. Every year we spend around 4 million euro on marketing in Germany, on marketing campaigns, so we are working on traffic, on decreasing, on optimizing costs. So if you ask me how long should we wait for the improvement of the situation, I don't know how long. But we are working on minimizing loss in this country. Now, with regard to online sales, so far the e-commerce was trying to catch up with the traditional stores. So you've been launching e-commerce in those countries in which you had the traditional stores. Could it happen that in the future, first you will launch e-commerce, which will be followed by the traditional stores in given countries? We are not thinking about that, because out of the 20 markets, just 11 have been launched e-commerce. And on a longer run, well, yes, I believe that this may be a natural move, but we have no such plans as yet. Thanks a lot. Sylwia Jaśkiewicz, brokerage house, now online. My question concerns online sales. So the improvement of online sales, well, the operating margin was better. And on longer run, when you will be increasing the online sale by 100%, how that will translate, how that translates into the operational margin. So many companies say that online sale is less profitable than the traditional sale. In our company, it's the reverse. But looking at it from the long-time perspective, our logistics is increasing, so the distances are increasing. Our parcels are sent to the UK, to Romania, and so on. So the more we go out of Poland, the more we need to work on it. So the idea is to build small logistics centers to support our long-distance destinations, but the effect of scale is important, that we would like to increase the e-commerce turnover in order to minimize the logistical cost. And on a longer perspective, we believe that we can maintain the profitability of e-commerce, and the level should not be worse than the traditional stores level. But because e-commerce is growing, and we are reaching further and further, we don't really know how that will work out, how that will behave. And we are still learning how to calculate the profitability of the e-commerce, because there is this way of thinking that the internet is stealing from the traditional stores. And we did an experiment. We've distributed coupons around online users that could have been used in online or in traditional stores, and we've incentivized them to use those coupons online. So, for instance, we were saying that you can use this coupon today online and tomorrow in traditional store. And what happened? 70% of those coupons were used in traditional stores. So, well, it's not working like that. So online sales, e-commerce is not stealing sales from the traditional stores. Sometimes it's the other way around. But we need to balance the whole situation, e-commerce and traditional stores. But how that will work, we need to wait. And in the big cities, big places, will you be quicker? We don't have plans like that. We've been reading about that. For us, these are the experimental experiments. We don't have this sort of plans. There's still lots of things that need to be done here. But if the market requires that, yes, we will do that. Are you thinking about any platform such as Zalando? No, we are not thinking about joining other platforms. We would like to focus on our own e-commerce. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Yes, there is one more question, but I'd like to continue the e-commerce subject. Now, looking at the goals for 2018, over 700 million growth in sales. How much of that growth is due to foreign sales? Well, Poland was growing 70-80% last year. So this year we still hope for the 50-something% growth. I believe that this is how the market can work. But definitely, well, the foreign markets will be there. Russia, huge market. We are hoping for new openings as well. So Romania or the United Kingdom, well, the growth there is 200-300%. Well, the base was lower, but this is accelerating definitely. Well, Poland still is growing quite fast. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some online questions. So what can we expect in terms of floor space growth after 2018? Will it still be around 10% year on year? We definitely would like this floor space growth in 2019 to reach around 10%. But after 2019, so 2020, 2021, it's hard to say. Well, it depends on how the Western European markets behave, because if we succeed there, then we will definitely be eager to open new stores in the UK, in Germany. As of today, our vision spans over 2019. Another question: how long does new store? How much does it take for a new store to mature? We've been actually researching that. Well, this maturity effect takes around 3 years. So the store is mature after 3 years, and the sales is as in other stores. So these are all the questions. Great. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention. Thank you for coming today. And we would like to invite you again in 3 months, and I'd like to invite you to a lunch that is served in the restaurant downstairs. Thank you so much.